Alright, we ball in chat. It's another day. It's another daily duos. Alright, let's go. We got Scented. We got Cold. These guys landing mid-map. They've been going here for a while. And, you know, I wanted to say that early on for the Invitational, this was the best team heading into it. I do feel like their stock has dropped as of the past, I don't know, month or so. I do still think they're going to be one of the best duos out of the North American East region. But I guess it's also just high expectations, right? They finished in the last two Weekly Cup finals 4th, 31st, and 5th. In the last three. Sorry, I read 3 after I said 2. Nonetheless, you guys get it. They're like... I guess expectations are just so high that I expect them to like win or come second in everything. So maybe that's me and my expectations. Nonetheless, let me stop waffling. We'll talk about this duo because I do think they have potential to be really freaking good. And let's talk about why. So, first of all, they have a very consistent game plan. I think they're one of the few most consistent teams within the region as far as how they like to play. This is a little scary to me with how far they're split. This isn't going to happen during the Invitational. This is likely just knowledge of where everyone's landing on the map. And I just realized my camera's on the other side. So, yeah, we're doing other side camera today. Welcome, left side, somebody's gun. What's up? So, yeah, during Invitational, they're likely only getting this area and then having to fight for a little more. It'll be interesting. Mid-map is also not as good as it used to be. It was definitely much better when there was pads and all the movement. Now there's just way too much movement where the entirety of the map will wind up funneling through this area. And we saw it a couple of times in some different games during the NA East Finals. So we'll see how it plays out for them in this game. We don't need to see them smack on things. As we can see, Scented building his tower. Hitting a little refarm. Getting all them goodies back. Really smart from them to understand if they do this fast enough. Because most teams aren't moving until right now. I mean, if we just look at the map now, everyone's kind of rotating from their POI, but they weren't doing that earlier. So we see these guys get up in their ivory tower, or whatever the saying is. Bring all the loot up there. Cole's just chilling. He's bullying people. And this is kind of traditional for a Scented-led team, is to have one player look for all the surge. Typically it is Scented, and Cole's just vibing. Actually, no, it's the opposite. Typically it's Cold. Because Scented used to hold the SMG and shotgun, not hold an AR. But now they're doing this little split here. Which, if we could look at all the vision each one of them gets. Let me pause this. So this Cold right here can see the entirety of this southern area. Even see most of the north one. And then if we go over to Scented, go up. He's got the whole north side. So these guys inevitably can see the entirety of this area right here. All of it. All of this area. So that's going to allow them to get a ton of surge. Also going to allow them to have a ton of info as to what's going on. And I would expect this is more of a play in preparation for the Invitational. If they are able to grab these two positions, that would be massive for them. We see they're just going to keep it on. Hit the balloon, make the rotate, grab a hill position. They got their bricks stolen from them, but they're chilling. Didn't have to spend too much here. Now just focusing on your storm surge damage. Really just have to avoid getting headshot sniped. Like, that's the most difficult thing. And I've said it pretty much every daily duo, so I'll say it here. Standard loadouts. That's the only thing they don't have is 2 pads. Which I would have expected them to rock is 2 pads. I'm very surprised they don't rock 2 pads. Or weren't able to find 2 pads based on all the loot that they were able to gather. Nonetheless, they'll be able to play with 1. And we see even as active as they are, they're only 300 damage above. That's like way less than I would have expected based on how active they were being. But that just shows you the thresholds. And take it to a higher lobby in the invitational, we'll call that like 150 above. Don't know that for a fact, but that's just a general guess. Now they're sitting edge. And Scented and Cold, especially Scented-led teams, are one of the best at just holding players. Using the space that they have. And making sure it's difficult for teams to get into zones. They get blessed here with zone. Wouldn't expect that. Pretty much zone just pulls straight over them. Like, you'll love to see that if you're them. You're already on the hill. You're chilling. Literally need to spend no mats. All you're doing is shooting at people trying to rotate in the zone. Fit zone pulls, and immediately these guys go. That's because pretty much everyone right now is looking at their map. They're in their map like, okay, we mark zone. We're going to have to make this rotate. So like the first few seconds, you're just safe. Gets a little less safe as you continue to have to move. But now they're pretty much already in zone. We see they build themselves in a nice little box. And they're wiping. They are on 1 build here. I believe it's just 1. Yeah, it's very choppable. I wonder if they'll fix that. Looking to hold teams. Again, this is what I talked about earlier. Understanding their space. Forcing teams off of them. But the cool and the most consistent part about their gameplay, Scented and Cold that is it's not reliant on refreshes. They will be able to get them occasionally, but their game plan is so structured to the point where they don't need to spend a ton of materials in order to be able to be successful. Oh, poor Malibuca getting fried. Malibuca's gonna go down. Oh, everybody getting fried. This is a fry fest. You're all invited. But they spent like all their AR at this point. So like now they've done their work. Boom. Now that they've done their work, it's over, right? Now we need the refresh in order to be able to sustain here as far as the AR ammo goes. And we do see they start building over to it. This is something I've always preached back for multiple years. You can find VOD reviews. Build in hard materials to your refresh. Invest in that refresh. Not able to get it. That's a bummer. But it's okay. Like, at least you tried. Now they've elevated themselves a little bit. And we see the pad play is going to be coming from this box. Put themselves in a good spot to be able to hit the pad. Definitely something different. Looking up at height. Trying to see where everyone's going. Boom. Throw pad. Would like that to be a little more coordinated. Where maybe Cold makes the edit. And Scented is able to throw the pad. That way it's a little faster. Scented gets pressured here. His boy Cold also getting pressured. Senton takes down Nick, knocking on the wrong wall, bro. Thank you for the refresh. This is exactly what they needed. Even getting a pad here. That was beautiful play by Senton to be able to get that refresh. Really, it's that big shot to start the engagement, and then the panic from the opponents, which then causes them to go down. And we see, like, the confidence just to run through this lobby in open space. Save so many materials and then rotate in. But they've played enough of these games to know they're chilling. Now we built that box up to see where we're going. Again, going to sprint to front side. And this is great recognition. Senton is always moving pretty much right as zone goes. And Cold's job is just to stick with him and follow the crazy man. My man just runs out in the open. Wild. And then does stuff like that. As his duo's healing, he's just like, yo, what's up, guys? I'm trying to take your walls. I live at the server. Again, wild man plays, just going straight through the open. But it saves a ton of mats. And all he's doing is building off the top. Because those are the players that are going to be able to make plays on him. Do wind up getting tagged. Throw the keg forward. Cold, you take over for a second. Now they're starting to get cut off on this left side. Need to be careful. As we can see, they're chilling though. Pretty much made it into zone. And you always love to see like Cold be able to take over and run that. Almost gets their head taken off. Luckily, just 13 HP is enough. Now it makes it difficult to make certain plays. Zone's going to pull back up, so look for them to try and get higher in elevation here. And this is interesting. So because of how good the Evochrome ARs are at taking stuff, just constantly using those to take positions. And now Senton's looking at the backside, trying to get a free kill here to get that HP back up. 13 HP and like that max of 113 is not a lot. We see Senton. It's on the backside here. Cold's cut someone off, but they have some good recognition to continue to move up. And they're just trying to be able to move through this space. All the mats have been spent. It's now Senton's turn to lead. But they're going to have to make a play here. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they see the person at their back. Looks like Rise is about to take advantage of this. But at this point, yeah. Rise takes down Senton. He doesn't really have much of a hope, although we can't be as bold as that with you being the only player with mats. But we do know Cold is crazy. So Shadow Walker, oh, that's a big shot. Got damage onto both of them. Takes out Voil. Senton dropped his mats there. Cold's able to keep cranking up. And now he's basically just that in-between player, hoping to draw this out to a second place. And oh my goodness, are the beams coming through. So he just has to outlast this player in front of him. He does, gets the second place. That team on height, you're not doing anything. GG's, bro. But getting that second is huge because that is, one, an elim point, and then two, typically going to be, in normal formats, like 2 to 4 to 6 points more. And that's the difference. And if they could do that every game, just get that little bit extra, they're vibing. Big chillin'. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you tomorrow.